it was just like like a local white collar boxing show, quite mixed standards of boxing on there. And I was watching and I thought, oh my God, I've always had an interest in fighting anyway, just whether it's been on the telly or I've got older brothers, if they had been, up to no good on the weekends or whatever, and they'd been into a fight or any of my boy mates, I'd always be, oh, really show an interest in it. But I never had the opportunity to actually endeavour in the sport because my parents had heavily invested in me doing gymnastics and dancing and stuff. And I think for them, they wanted, like a typical girl doing girly things where that was never really my thing. I was more like one of the boys. But yeah, I was at this show and I was watching, I thought, okay, I really want to give this a go. And I started doing a little bit of pad work, fitness stuff with my old gym manager. And then I ring-girled for another show and I started doing a little bit more pad work. And I was toying in my mind. I thought, oh, I really enjoy hitting the pads. I really love doing interval sprints. I love doing all of the training. Maybe I'm too old to box. Maybe I should just join a sprint club, but I know I need to do something competitively. And then anyway, I just carried on posting online. And Pepe, who's now my partner, we weren't together then, messaged me and he said, look, if you want to box, you need to get yourself a proper boxing coach. He explained, it's such a dangerous sport. You need guidance, you need a proper coach, you need to get all your basics done. And I thought, well, why don't you teach me? If you're happy to coach me, because I knew he was coaching a lot of pros. And then I had a session with him, and that was it. I fell in love with him. I fell in love with boxing, and here we are now, 10 fights deep.
Now, when you said you were posting online, what do you mean? You're just posting about boxing, or were you
It was
posting
just
your
post,
training, or?
yeah, it's just posting my training, just doing like, it wasn't even like proper combinations or anything, and that's not taking anything away from my old manager that was padding me. It was just fitness stuff, and I was a lot bigger. I was about 10 kilos heavier to what I am now. I was carrying a lot of muscle, wasn't really doing any cardio. I just loved weights and I just loved moving my body, and I started hitting pads and I thought, oh no, I really enjoy hitting pads, but I don't know, maybe if I've kind of missed that gap to throw myself into it competitively. I know, people say age is just a number, but when you're doing something like combat sports, you have to make sure that your brain is completely there. And I thought, I've come into it so late. I don't want to come into it and then people just think, oh, she's not taking it seriously or she's too old. So what we did, we were training.